We should be live.
Hello.
So, hello. Alright, it's been a while since we last streamed together.
Yes, yeah.
There's been quite a few Grand Prix as well. Well, finally we're here together again for the
Mm,
reaction for the Qatar Grand Prix. Honestly, pretty interesting weekend, I gotta say.
definitely. Definitely an interesting weekend. So much happened. Sprint race weekends, they're wonderful.
Yeah,
So, yes, I was very pleasantly surprised despite the fact Max did win most of the sessions.
yeah, yeah. Definitely not like too bad of a weekend, but definitely not the best weekend we had this year. Because we just hopped off a good streak of races. We had like Dutch Grand Prix, Italian Grand Prix, and then the Singapore, obviously. Those were
Mm,
like pretty good races. Then we got Japan last. Actually, it was like 2 weeks before Qatar, I think.
yeah.
Um, yeah, that was a alright race. Not really too much happened. And in this one, we had, as you said before, sprint race. I think it was like the third one or the fourth one this season, around that.
Yeah, yeah.
We had Baku, Austria, and this was like the next one, right? We have one in Austin and one in Brazil. So yeah, that's fine. Unless I'm
Yeah,
missing.
I think you're right. It feels like this season should be ending. We've got two Americas left, I know that. Mexico, Brazil, and then the last one, obviously,
Yep.
which is in Abu Dhabi. There you go. Couldn't remember the name.
Uh, 5 races to go. 4 races. Shall we move to the predictions? Because next week we're obviously doing predictions for Austin, which I think will be the one of the best races this season. It's
Hopefully,
my copium prediction. Okay.
we're getting a few. We're getting a few interesting tracks. I know Mercedes destroyed in Brazil last year. They very much seem like they have a car set up for the corners around Brazil. Um, Even though they're probably quite slow on the straight. And then a few other interesting tracks that will definitely come into play. Mexico is always a boring race, despite the fact it has a mega long straight because of how high up it is.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see.
From the remaining races, there's like Las Vegas, which is like the only race I think that could theoretically not suit McLaren as the second best car. I think that race could be interesting because it's like new track, very different layout to most layouts we have. Like I would say Las Vegas is more of like Monza with walls basically. Okay, something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have Abu Dhabi. That's like more like Japan. With, I mean, uh, I would say Japan is very similar to Abu Dhabi, like this current version we have now. Obviously Brazil, which is yep, drag on its own. I don't think we have anything even close to Brazil for being such a unique track. It's not like too
Yes.
complex, but it's very unique in terms of like Brazil like pecking order can be so much different than in any other track in the season, which is like, exciting, obviously. Okay, we should probably stick to the point. Qatar Grand Prix. Okay, let's begin with the predictions. Um, Obviously, we had quali, which was pretty close. I almost thought McLaren could actually challenge for pole position, but yeah,
Few too many mistakes from old Norris in the end,
yeah. Even
which really caps off Norris's weekend, I think.
yeah, yeah. We'll talk about it later, obviously. Um, we had not Russell in P3 or something like that ahead of Piastri, which was pretty good. P5 was like actually Hamilton maybe or Alonso actually.
I thought it was so. Q1 was after all the editing, because obviously they went round and took off a bunch of people's time, including Piastri. It was Verstappen, Russell, Hamilton, I believe.
Yeah, we will have to include.
I don't remember all the aftermaths.
This doesn't count as penalties into the race, but like penalties for the quality deleted laps. I think those count as actual changes in position. So this time we have like Max P1. This is a point for all of us because he got the pole position. Obviously. Oh shit. Next up is Russell, I think. None of us got it right.
It was Russell next.
Even though Norris got the second fastest lap, but he got the lead.
And then Piastri was also ahead of Russell, I think.
What?
He got deleted.
Russell?
I think he was ahead of Russell, but got deleted. I
can't
remember.
And Norris got P2, but he was like,
and then Piastri was the same. I think they were both ahead of Russell and Hamilton, I believe, and then got their lap deleted. But I might be wrong.
I think Russell was P3 and Piastri was P4, but both of the McLarens got laps deleted.
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah, so I could get the point, but unfortunately, lap time deleted. Of course, it's unfortunate because McLaren looked really, really good this weekend. Yeah. That was a missed opportunity in the quality. Of course,
definitely big missed opportunity.
P3 in reality, before the lap time deleted was Russell, but after that it was Hamilton. He moved 2 places up from P5, so now let's get the point here either. Unfortunate. Now when it comes to the rest, I actually don't remember too much.
I think it was Alonso.
It was like Alonso was P4, I think. It was like P6 before the two McLarens got the lap time deleted.
I'm getting the results.
I think Alonso started P4 because I remember him starting behind the two Mercs.
It was him, and then it was Leclerc in P5.
Okay, so no points for P4, P5 either.
We missed the mark. Well, we didn't miss the mark. We actually were very close, but the issue was the McLarens both got their lap times deleted. Yep. So
Banana has had Perez and just I think bolder than having a Mercedes there, to be honest.
Yes, but perhaps. Even though we'll talk about the sprint grid in a sec, but yeah, it was an interesting qualifying. A lot of I get the whole deleting stuff. It does make it difficult, but like it's within the rules. It's like people that complain about VAR. It's there for a reason.
Yeah.
So as much as it sort of ruins the entertainment, it is getting the best result.
Yep. When it comes to the track limits, I think they obviously should be monitored, but yep. I don't really like this kind of like if you want to like have track limits as drivers not going over the white line, which is obviously the track limit, put a gravel there or like something. So it actually punishes the drivers for going off. Because whenever there's like a curb, drivers are gonna take it and.
You're right.
Yep.
Be interesting to see if they do that in any like Austria was obviously a big issue as well.
Yeah.
But then for other races like MotoGP and so on, it's difficult.
Yeah, I either heard a rumor that like the F5 like CEO or whatever said that Austria and Qatar could be like in danger for the next seasons because of track limits, and I also heard that Austria could be like adding gravel to the final 2 turns, which is like the main point of the track limits. Nothing about Qatar, honestly, and I think Qatar shouldn't be like. I think this track is changing, right? Qatar for next year.
No, they took that back.
When is it? Like
Originally was going to change, but I think they just accepted that this is going to be the track from now on.
Are you serious? That's not too good of news, not gonna lie.
I'll look at 2024 just in case.
It's called Los
I believe it's at the same track. It's much later next year, which hopefully will deal with the heat, which we'll probably talk about later.
Yep.
Here you go. The Losail International Circuit.
Yep.
That's where it's at.
Second last race, if I remember correct.
So yeah, same track.
Obviously, that means it should be like late November or December.
It's exactly that. It's late November going into December.
Oh, so it's like a weekend on crossover of the mouse. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I think we should talk about like the track specifics, like the heat and everything that happened after the race, after we get the race predictions over. So I don't think like mixing these topics would be a good idea. Anyway, sprint was something else. I had no expectations of the sprint. We got McLaren 1-2 at the start. Oh my god. Yeah, it was exciting.
Yes, it was very exciting. A very big shock. And yeah, they took that energy into the sprint as well.
Yep, because we had Piastri winning his first, de facto race in F1. It's not a Grand Prix, but it's a race. Technically, it's a race winner with 4 Lando Norris, which is funny. But very good job, McLaren, and especially Piastri. That sprint quality was chaotic itself, but that sprint was something else. Like, soft runners at the start having like so much more grip, and then 10 laps later it was the reverse. The medium runners were like so much quicker.
Yes, so much quicker. Which, it makes sense. It boggles the mind why Hamilton decided to start the race on softs. Bear in mind that was always going to occur. And we saw it in sprint, how much it affected it. But I think overall that did make it interesting at least. It is probably the best example of ties going off during a race, because quite often we'll see, maybe in Austria for the sprint, I think we saw, some people start on mediums, some people on softs, and as much as there was a little...
Austria sprint was wet, I believe. It was like starting on the inters.
I might be thinking of the year before or something along
probably
those lines.
the year before, yeah.
Where it was less obvious that the softs had gone off, whereas in this race it was just so clear by how far down everyone went.
Yeah. Anything like specific from the sprint you want to point out?
I think good racing. Russell sort of found his groove there. What happened to Verstappen again? I forgot.
He got a bad start. It was like P5 after lap 1.
Him and Norris got horrendous starts. The big thing for me was the crash between Perez. Well, we obviously got a lot of crashes, but which is terrible for my predictions. But the crash between Perez, Ocon, and Hulkenberg.
Yep.
That for me, that was just so hilarious, because Hulkenberg's the only one that's like, nope, and still manages to get wiped out. That probably ruined him from getting points. But it still managed to get his car around. That was a big talking point. I think this weekend was one of Perez's worst overall. And yeah, certainly not looking good for him.
Yep. It was. I mean, after Japan, I don't know how much lower can Perez go. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, Perez having a horrendous run of form. Currently had that crash in sprint didn't help either. I didn't remember what happened to Perez in the race itself. Should have. Did he even race in the Prix?
Yeah. He started from the pit lane.
Oh, yeah, he was the one who got like 10 seconds of penalty for track limits.
Oh, actually? I don't think he started from the pit lane because controversial reasons.
He did. Yeah.
Oh, he did.
Yep.
And then I believe he finished. He finished 10th. So he got a single point. Wasn't very quick throughout the Grand Prix.
Yeah, that was not a good race, but yeah, having a good race from Perez is not very usual nowadays.
No, he definitely is struggling in that car, and I wonder if there's any other seat that could interest him. There isn't really any seats left, is the issue.
Yep. The only seat I can realistically think of is the Aston seat. If obviously Stroll, like Lance Stroll decides to leave F1, because if like Lance doesn't want to leave F1, I think he's staying as long as he wants to. Obviously Lawrence doesn't care about the constructors. He just wants.
Yeah.
If the Astons make an actual championship winning car, Alonso can win the championship, but they don't need the constructors, so they can keep Stroll. Stroll basically, like, with Alonso winning races, we will have Stroll getting like P5s or whatever. Yeah, and Lawrence could be happy with that. So as long as Lance wants to race, I think it's gonna stay. But yeah, who knows?
I think that was another big overarching theme this weekend was Lance Stroll and his difficulties. He did end up coming to 11th, just outside the points, but it was a rough weekend for him.
Yeah, it was like, obviously we saw the clip from the garage. I at that point I actually thought that Stroll may actually not want to race in F1, but yeah, we can't possibly know what's inside his head and what's like going on behind
definitely
behind the scenes. So,
and it seems like he doesn't, based on the one clip where he's leaving the driver's thing alone, maybe he doesn't have that many friends in the paddock, but we don't know. We don't know what's happening. It might be the case of his dad buys a Le Mans team and he goes and races that instead. But we'll see. We'll see what the future holds. He's definitely not the worst driver ever, but on the grid right now, he's suffering.
Yeah. I actually think Lance shouldn't get another season. I think he should quit on his own, but obviously I have no problem with that.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same, but it is kind of up to him. I don't know if his dad will rip the fingers, the carpet from under him. We shall see.
I don't think Dad would like kick out his son's like own team.
Yeah, that's the issue.
That's not happening as long as Lance wants to race. Yeah, a difficult weekend for many drivers, including Stroll, obviously. Yeah, shall we go to the race itself? Because there's a lot of topics. Obviously,
yes.
Starting with the tires, because 18 lap maximum stints for 3 minimum pit stops and a lot of chaos that was expected. But yeah, we didn't really get as much chaos as we hoped for, obviously.
Yeah, it was an interesting start from the point of view of shit. The two people that could, and you know what, their starts were good compared to Verstappen's. Hamilton probably would have passed him if he'd gone around the outside. Unfortunately, George was sat there, and that affected both their races greatly. George ended up managing to come back. They obviously did the whole "it's okay, we're friends" thing at the end. And look, Hamilton's one of the oldest people on the grid, bar Alonso. He's probably quite happy based on how badly the Grand Prix went for all the drivers in terms of just horrible conditions to race in.
Yep.
So it probably isn't the worst thing in the world, but they're racers. They want to race.
Yep.
I think it was Hamilton's error as well.
Yeah, I agree. It was. I mean, yeah. Hamilton couldn't really like. He could have went like more on the outside, but it was like he risked getting like on the dirty side of the track too much, and that would basically make him like go off track immediately and not make the corner. And at that point, he was just hoping he would outbrake Russell enough to go around the outside. Unfortunately, Russell had not like good amount of braking power, but yeah, it was just.
I don't think Russell had any room really in the end. Like, he could have maybe broke more, but when you were talking about racing drivers here, like, it's very simple, the term "brake more," but Russell was making that corner. So,
yeah.
But their teammates. I'm sure it's an open-close book at the end of the day. Russell managed to fight back very well throughout the race to get his result. So yeah, there's obviously a bad incident for Mercedes, but not the worst incident in the world. They still got quite a bit of points, and bear in mind that Ferrari didn't have a great day. Aston Martin had an okay day until Alonso's escapades, which, to be fair, given that he had lots of burns on his body after the race, you can sort of understand.
Yeah, it must have been really difficult for a lot of drivers out there, basically everyone.
Yeah, so Alonso got a bunch of burns, from my knowledge. Lance Stroll kept blacking out, but kept having, maybe blacking out, I can't remember the exact thing, but he stopped off at the ambulance at the end of the race, if you saw, and went straight to the doctors. We obviously had Logan Sargent literally stopping mid-race because it was so tough, and then I think it was Ocon also had a lot of complaints, or not complaints, but valid complaints.
Yeah.
But yeah, every driver sort of said it was awful.
Yep. Most drivers had some kind of health problems, but fortunately we didn't have anything too serious. All the drivers recovered from their tough times, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. We could have had a major incident, and so I'm kind of glad it's later on next year.
Yep. I'm really
not
glad
that Qatar really gets any colder.
When you mentioned the blackout for Stroll, like imagine you're like racing at such high speeds, like you're coming to like one of the fastest corners, like 250 kilometers per hour, for example, and you're like gonna actually lose consciousness for like, it's only like 0.5 seconds, let's say. You're basically going to the wall. That's really, really dangerous.
Definitely. So yeah, I think it's not up to the FIA where the races are held. That's up to the group that owns F1, and obviously they've got some payments to have it in Qatar, more than likely, allegedly, I should say. I'm not sure how it works as a business deal, but that's why the fact it's been moved is probably the best thing, because we're not going to get rid of it. So yeah.
Yeah. I totally agree with it being like later in the season, because it's like start of October. It's still not too cold in the Middle East. Obviously, Qatar is also very humid, and the heat combined with like dehydration for most of the drivers was really not pleasant.
It's never going to be cold, unfortunately, there, but
I mean, cold for Middle East is like 20 degrees Celsius.
even then, it was like 30 at the World Cup still.
Yeah, I think like 30 degrees could be alright, but I think they raced against like it was like 35 degrees or something. They raced again.
Yeah. I remember someone in the paddock kept opening their helmet to try and get air in, and then just getting a lot of sand in the face.
Yeah, it was Russell and Norris. I think Tsunoda we saw in the broadcast having like their helmets open during the race.
Yeah.
So Logan didn't drink during the race. Like that's his thing that he doesn't drink during the races. During such a Grand Prix that basically every lap you race, there's like so much water going away from your body. Obviously, I'm not surprised that he DNF out of the race, like had to retire, because I think if he would try to finish the race, I think it would make his health situation even worse. Because when he got to the medical center, it was like really bad. Like not bad as life-threatening, but it was pretty bad.
I kept thinking when he was driving back that he was, because he kept slowing down to let lap cars, well, even people that were just in the race through. He didn't want to battle them because obviously he was feeling so terrible. But I kept thinking, oh shit, he's blacked out here.
At that point, I thought he was like stopping, like deliberately stopping the track as he could like make it into the pits, but it was because it was letting like a Haas or whatever for luckily he made it to the pits and got to the doctors in enough time. So.
But yeah, that meant it was a routine victory for Verstappen. Let's be honest. Piastri sort of gave a fight. Very good start from Piastri, needs to be noted. Yep. Extremely good start. To get him into second and chasing Verstappen, but it was sort of no contest in the end.
I mean, McLaren finished like 4 seconds behind Max, but it wasn't really close at any point in the Grand Prix. Apart from like the safety car restart where Piastri obviously fell behind, because Max is the master of the safety car restarts, basically.
Well, you just don't expect him to start 3 corners before the straight.
That was what happened to him with Russell in the sprint as well. I think it's more of like, I don't know. It's probably difficult to know, obviously, but he could have remembered what happened to him in the sprint and react better. I think Max made the most of the restart as well. Yeah, Max Grand Slam led every lap, even though Albon left for like half a lap. It didn't count as an official lap, so Grand Slam for Verstappen. Really good job. Obviously, he didn't get the sprint pole or win, but yeah, the Grand Prix was pretty much his to lose, and he didn't. He pretty much won as dominantly as he could with the McLarens pretty close. So good for Max. Piastri P2, very good race from him. With the great Sari mentioned, he's going on from P6 to P2 in one corner because of the Mercedes doing stuff. Norris P3, very good recover from him from P10 on the grid. Obviously, Norris felt like he had more pace than Piastri towards the end to actually.
Yeah, definitely caught up with him. That's to note. But we still haven't seen, and like they're right to not let them fight in this race, I think. But we still haven't seen like Norris actually overtake Piastri on track without having to ask.
Yeah. And it's always.
So it'll be interesting when that eventually has to happen.
Always they don't really want that to like happen. Like obviously, when you're like, teammates, you're like fighting against other teams in a situation. You don't want to like make moves without letting your team know. Norris, I know a lot of people don't like him being like so whiny whenever he's behind Piastri. Like, but he's generally feeling like he's faster. I think he should let the
and
team
he does
know.
prove he is faster.
I think it's good that he lets the team know he's like wants to overtake Piastri before he actually does it, before any sort of contact can happen between the drivers.
I think there's been a lot of races where it's happened now, though. I'm thinking this race, obviously, we had Japan and then Hungary, the three that are currently spring to memory. So it'll be interesting when eventually they have to fight. For example, for if McLaren keep going the way they are with the development, perhaps for a championship next season.
Yeah.
That's a big if, though.
It's a big if, but I think,
especially when Red Bull exists.
According to certain simulations, it could happen, but okay. P2 Norris didn't happen.
No, sadly, I was wrong. I put the wrong order. I should have put I should have done it for qualifying the other way around.
Yeah, that happened. I mean, yeah, I should have I put Norris P2, but lap time.
Yeah. No, I mean I should have put qualifying in the race instead.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Obviously, we lost 2 points here. I mean, only 1 point technically. To London. We could have gained points if they actually swapped, but yeah, good for McLaren getting a 2-3. It was like their race to lose, obviously, double podium 2 times in a row.
Yeah.
So really, really good, considering the early struggles for them. I think they scored the most points over over the past 3 races.
Impressive. Not sure how much Kota is going to suit them.
Yeah. Also, it's more Perez being not scoring points.
Yeah.
Kota.
Next up.
Next up. When it comes to Kota, I don't know. It's like a pretty balanced track overall. Like it has some high-speed corners, some medium speed, some long straights, and some low-speed corners. And it's could be a pretty good mix. I don't know. Well, we'll see. I think it could be similar to whatever. Hungary? No, Hungary. Maybe Belgium? I don't know. Next up, P4 in reality was Russell. None of us could have Russell in our top 5. So I got him as least impressive driver. It's obviously not true, but yeah. I got Alonso, you got Perez. Putting Perez in your top 5 is actually giving me free advantage because I never put Perez in. It never gets top 5. So
yeah. He's struggling.
Yeah, but then I got Hamilton there, which is I mean, if the Mercedes wouldn't crash, there's a high possibility Hamilton could get P4. So McLaren's obviously
would have been an interesting battle between the Mercedes and the McLarens.
Yep. I just think McLaren had not by too much, but a significant advantage over the pace wise. I think that they definitely could have got ahead of Mercedes, but it was also this they probably would have to overtake them on track, and that turned out to be relatively difficult on this track.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll never know if Merck could get actually the 1-2 instead of McLaren.
Yeah.
P5. Was it Charles? I think.
Yes, it was.
So we get the point.
Yeah, it should have been Alonso, but obviously his off-track escapade.
Yeah.
To be honest, as much as it's all dandy that he got P5, it was a bad weekend for Ferrari as a whole. They're so on-off on different tracks, and this definitely felt like an off track for them.
Yeah, I honestly expected Mercedes to struggle, like, kind of like in Suzuka. I expected a similar, like, picking order as in Suzuka, but Ferrari seemed to be, like, pretty weak. Obviously we didn't get Sainz to start the race, but still, it's not really characteristic for Ferraris. Like, after the past few races, ever since the winter break, summer break, we got Ferraris winning a race, honestly, this time. Yeah, another good race from Ferrari. Obviously, having only one car start the race is bad from the start, but Charles never really seemed like to have any pace, considering he didn't really have any fresh tires. And yeah, the track ate the tires, like literally ate the tires as a food. So okay, Ferraris, yeah, no, good. 11 good Piastri, which was wrong. Okay, we actually already talked about what happened after the race when it comes to like the health problems for the drivers and stuff. I want to point out the cool down room because that was pretty funny to me. Like PSG lying on the floor, and Max was lying next to it.
Yeah, they were dead. They were dead.
That was pretty funny. Like,
I mean, even when you look at it, and Max, you know, who had nothing to worry about or race, was just so exhausted. No, you know, he did not have to push at all.
Actually had to like slow down a bit because I think they were like concerned about the tires and stuff.
Yeah, we didn't mention it, but the tire thing was annoying. It probably makes sense why it had to happen, but I just hated it and the guesswork that came with it.
I also think Red Bulls were like, we heard about this whole tire thingy because they built a car that's supposed to like take care of the tires and they can like extend the stints and stuff. And here we have limited stints by the laps, which is like literally against what Red Bull car is built for. Like I think if we didn't have this tire rule thingy, the tires would degrade normally. You know, like severe risk of puncture or whatever. We would have Red Bull winning at least 15 seconds is my guess. Somewhere around like Suzuka, where this is why I think Max will win the remaining races. Just
unfortunately, so I'm still hopeful for Brazil, maybe, but we'll see.
Brazil is like, we'll see. I still think Max has it's his to lose, honestly. Like, he's pretty much.
Yeah, I'm certainly not putting anyone but him in my predictions as first place.
Yeah, even though we don't get points for sprint for him, I think we'll still keep putting, even after this, if Qatar went to happen again, literally this weekend, I would still put Max P1 in every single session.
Yeah, same. I'm not taking that risk ever again. He, of course, won his Drivers' World Championship, so it's not even his to lose at this point.
Yeah.
He is the world champion with 5 races left. So, and actually, it was with 6 races left because he did it in the sprint.
Yeah, we didn't even mention it ever.
Yeah. It's just one of those things we all knew was going to happen. So, congratulations, obviously, in order. He does deserve it. So, yeah.
Yep. a very, very, very strong season for Max. Obviously, he didn't really have any competition apart from the first
Yeah.
4 races or so, but yeah,
His
impressive.
one piece of competition sort of fell
Yeah.
the wayside.
But
then
yeah,
we-
it was still like when you consider the entire season, it was always Max at the top. Like he didn't really have an off weekend. Like his off weekend was not starting from pole, but still winning by 20 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, we still have to admire the consistency and talent, obviously, that Max has, and yeah, I'm really worried that next few seasons may be pretty similar to this one in terms of like Max.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, I want to be like optimistic, but I'm just too like I'm pretty scarred by this past 2 years basically. Ever since Ferrari stopped winning, it was just Max winning every single race. It's just every weekend you go to a weekend, just hoping for a slight bit of hope that Max doesn't win everything and it just wants to win the race by 30 seconds.
Yep.
It's just the reality, unfortunate reality we have right now. Okay, shall we move to the most impressive driver?
Yeah.
I don't know who else would I give it to other than Piastri, honestly.
I think it was a good call. For me, I think it has to be a race win, a second place.
Yeah.
A sprint win, sorry, I should say. A second place. There's nothing really else. I mean, you could argue Verstappen, but when he has the best car.
he didn't win the sprint pole and sprint win, so obviously that's like -5 rating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, I think Piastri was a great call for me. In fact, I think I made several great calls when it comes to this.
Yeah. For the other drivers we could think of for the most impressive, I actually don't think
I don't think
of
there is
anyone
one.
other than Bottas maybe.
You could
Okay. Bottas
you could
is a
kind
really
of
good
argue Russell. Yeah, Bottas and
Yeah.
Joe had a good weekend, which will come to my bad pick. But yeah, I don't think there's anyone else.
Yeah.
You could argue Russell just for the racecraft he showed, but
Russell got
Even then.
got P4 in the sprint after like qualifying, whatever. It was like
yeah,
Or-
that was his soft tyres though.
he led the sprint for a good amount of it in the race.
Yeah.
He got P2 at the start, thanks to McLaren's being, specifically Norris being not able to stay within the track limits. Obviously got, unfortunately taken out by his own teammate, even though, it was just unfortunate between the two Mercedes.
Yeah.
And down in the race, coming back from the last place to pretty solid P4. I think Russell has a really good weekend, but obviously Piastri, first race win in his rookie season. What is it, 17th race in F1? Well, technically, not including the sprints. Including the sprint, 17th weekend in F1. He's already a race winner. He's like, I don't know what to expect from PSG coming into the future, because what if it happens to be like another Verstappen or whatever? Being this impressive in like his first season, like we haven't seen this maybe since like Hamilton in 2008 or 7.
I think he's done impressively. I will say I think Norris still has his number in terms of actual speed, so it's about getting over that hurdle in the next 3 years. If their teammates still in 3 years, that's when Norris sort of came into his own by the 3rd year.
Yep. Let me see Piastri this close to Norris already. I'm like pretty tempted to say that Piastri could like become better than Norris. just because how good he's already. Like he's able to match Norris and sometimes even beat him head to heads.
Maybe.
Yeah.
There's definitely a chance.
Yeah.
I think Norris is still young, so
we'll see next season.
He might end up being
We'll see next season whenever McLaren isn't starting as the worst car on the grid. Hopefully.
Yes, definitely. That would be interesting.
Yeah, we could see McLaren's like if they start as around second or third fastest car next season. Let's say around wherever they're like now. That's where the real comparisons should start for Norris and Piastri, because Piastri would not be a rookie anymore. Norris obviously had like his 6th season in McLaren. That's like crazy. I think 2019 was his first season, so 2020, 2020, yeah, it was his 6th season in Formula 1 and 6th season in McLaren. Okay. Okay, police, the Bristol driver, Russell, no. Lawson, yeah, he spun the sprint.
I think it has to be Lawson. I think he was the only one that actually wiped himself out on the sprint. It was just his error wiped himself out.
What happened?
And then he span on the first lap. But it wasn't. No one touched him or anything. He's just span on his own.
What happened to him in the Grand Prix? Because I don't.
Oh, he was the last finisher, I think. He was the last finisher.
Where was Tsunoda then? Where was Tsunoda?
Tsunoda was two places ahead of him. It went Lawson, Hulkenberg, Tsunoda. And from what Lawson's shown so far, it absolutely should be Lawson. Well, okay. Another for the actual sprint race, take that into account. Tsunoda came 11th. So over the weekend, it has to be Lawson.
Well, Lawson wouldn't get any points in the sprint either. It's like if you
but he crashed himself out. That's being the least impressive driver.
It wasn't as much of a crowd on a spin, but obviously.
Well, yeah, I know, but he couldn't continue.
It's still like it's his 5th race in F1 or whatever. You cannot expect this guy to just be like super quick, super no crash prone, whatever, every single weekend.
Yeah, I know, but I still think from what he's shown so far, finishing behind Hulkenberg and Magnussen as well.
I mean, the Haas wasn't really slow this weekend. We could realistically have Hulkenberg scoring points in both sessions. Obviously, sprint was him being in the crash, and Sunday he just started from like I think he was starting from Perez grid slot or something like that.
Oh, if you can name another driver that did that badly this weekend.
Obviously, from Perez. Actually no. Who is it?
There's Perez and arguably Sargent, but from what he's shown,
Sargent wasn't like too bad. I mean, yeah, obviously the race, he retired from the sprint, he spun out and beached himself, but that's the same thing for Lawson. And
did Sargent beach himself?
Yeah, he did the same thing as Lawson like 4 laps later.
Okay.
In the sprint. Honestly, Sargent in this case had a worse weekend than Lawson, just all things considered. Yeah, Sargent obviously has way more races than F1. But I understand that you had like more expectation of Lawson. I still think he's still technically a rookie, because he's not even in his rookie season. Like, he's just subbing in for another driver. I've just been so impressed by Lawson that I think this should be like the average performance to have from him if he didn't do as good in the previous races.
He's shown he has better than this performance.
Yeah, I get it, but if Lawson like was to sub in for this race for the first time, let's say Ricciardo raced for the for the races before, and the thingy with Ricardo happened in this race. Lawson would get one practice session on the track. We never raced that before. A sprint, very difficult conditions, spun out and beached himself in the race, finished 3 positions behind Tsunoda. Or 2, or whatever.
It was 2, yeah. I can't see the lap. I think he was quite considerably behind Tsunoda, but I can't see the positions because they were both 1 lap down. I just think for me it has to be Lawson. But if you really want to put it on Sargent, who has shown he's bad, I think in terms of least impressive, you expect Sargent to do what he's done, but you wouldn't expect Lawson to do what he's done.
Honestly, I don't know what to say. I just don't expect Lawson to be like godlike driver every single weekend. I think it's more like him being too much.
But I won't accept Sargent's less impressive than him.
I mean, all things considered, Sargent, in this case, if let's say we have the same expectations for every single driver, Sargent in this case would be less impressive. But since we don't have any expectations of Sargent, in this case, Lawson would be less impressive. And also we also have the Perez thing, and I would say Perez had arguably 2 horrible weekends in a row.
We can give it Perez, that's fine.
I just don't feel like giving Lawson the least impressive driver for finishing 2 positions behind in this 5th ever race in F1.
It's not just that though. He also wiped himself out.
That was the sprint we had.
Yeah, I know, but overall this weekend was just awful for him. But it's up to you.
I mean, he's so inexperienced, having only 1 practice session on the track he never raced before. Obviously,
that's why I predicted him to be least impressive though. And also, you can say Piastri's never run on this track either, and he managed to come second.
That's why Piastri is the most impressive, obviously.
Yeah, and so, but you know, it's a similar story. They both had the same amount of time.
We both had Piastri in our top 3s. We obviously had him P2 in the quali, and they still got the most impressive driver because he did even more than what we asked from him. He showed even more what we expected. And from Lawson, I think it's only on your side that you expected more from Lawson than I did. If there wasn't any Perez or Sargent in this race, I would honestly give it a point straight up. But I don't know, it just feels too harsh on Lawson to give him the least impressive driver for.
I don't think I am being, but I'll accept it.
Yeah. Okay. When it comes to Russell, obviously no. Russell was one of the most impressive drivers this weekend, actually.
Yeah.
All things considered, P4 in the sprint, led some laps, P2 in quali, unfortunately crashed in the race, and P4 in the end. I would say Russell was a pretty good contender for the most impressive driver if there wasn't no Piastri or Bottas. So, yeah. Alonso, least impressive driver. I mean, he didn't have his best weekend, definitely, but still scored some points, right? So, I mean, I don't know. I was.
You said it was Perez.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm not giving the point, but just the thing, like, for Alonso's weekend, how it went, because in quali, I think it was the sprint race when he got the lap time deleted, because obviously in quali he got 2 positions inherited from McLaren's. In sprint, I think he got the lap times deleted, so he started like P10 in the sprint. Don't remember if he got any points. Honestly, sprint is, apart from like the crash and the McLaren winning, it's like pretty forgettable in terms of results.
He got 1 point in the sprint.
Oh, so PA. Yep. I think it was like Albon getting P7 or something. Uh, finishing behind.
I think he also had the soft to hard issue. Oh, sorry, he was on softs.
Yeah, that makes sense then. He won't get P8.
Yeah.
In the race, obviously, very difficult conditions in which raced in the burn. I think he obviously went off track to gravel, and then we joined pretty dangerously. Obviously, Leclerc even moved to the side to get some slipstream from Alonso, which was like pretty funny at the moment. But yeah, difficult weekend for Alonso. I don't think it was these impressive drivers, so now let's get the point here. Okay, finally over to the most impressive team, and I don't think we have to argue with each other. I think this is a pretty easy points for all of us. Bananas and McLaren as well.
I'm also going to say, I think for least impressive team, none of us get a point, because I think it was Alpha Tauri.
Least impressive team from Tauri?
Yeah, I think Alpha Tauri were the least impressive team. To be down with the Hasses, you know.
Yeah, I was... yeah. I mean, I have a point. Also, like, Ferraris could be a pretty decent shout.
Yeah, but it's P5 for Leclerc. You know, Sainz got Sainz got sixth in the race. It's not the worst race ever. But it doesn't matter. None of us put even.
Yeah. I put Merc, which looked good at the start of the race, but honestly Russell climbed to P4. And honestly, Mercedes wasn't the least impressive team. Let's be honest. Like even though if Russell would DNF as well from that race, I still would probably give it to either AlphaTauri or Aston. Not Aston, but Ferrari. So Mercedes showed some serious pace. Like maybe at times they could like challenge McLarens and Red Bulls in certain like whatever it's called, conditions. It's called. Yep. So yeah. Unfortunately, I don't get a point here. Alfa Romeo, I think, if it wasn't for McLaren,
they were really good.
They would get the points straight up because, for being like the 9th fastest car for most of the season, they got double points. Even I would maybe give them point over McLaren, but since we all put McLaren, let's give us the point and forget about Alfa Romeo for this instance. Obviously, not a least impressive team. Double points for. I mean, it's like the same situation as it's like Haas getting points. It's like not happening too often. We have the Alpines, Williams, and AlphaTauris being obviously faster right now, getting really good positions recently. Obviously, the top 5 teams. It's really difficult for Haas and Alfa Romeo to get points, and they got double points. If any of us would put Alfa Romeo, I would honestly that was the easiest points ever. But since none of us got them, I just give them McLaren points, honestly. Aston leading impressive team. Stroll is just Stroll. It is like nowhere. It's like out in Q1 in both qualifyings. P11 in the race, I think. Alonso, obviously. We'll talk about Alonso. Not too much to say about Aston. They really fell down the pecking order. They're like the fastest team at the moment. Sometimes even fighting with the Alpines and Williamses, and even AlphaTauris. AlphaTauri is pretty strong car recently. Okay, no one was going to point here, right?
Yep.
Okay. Had an extra bold prediction. Just. I don't know what free crashed means from Banana. I assume that's.
I think it's free crashes.
It's free crashes because if it would be like a triple crash of 3 cars, you get the point actually for the sprint crash. But I just hope he actually misspelled this and he meant 3 crashes, which obviously we had the Hülkenberg Ocon Perez one, we had the Russell Hamilton one. I don't think we had
we
any
had a lot.
more. Did we have any more crashes?
There was a few, I think.
We don't count Lawson in the sprint or Sargent the sprint as those aren't really crashes. It's just I'm spinning off then beached in the gravel.
No, those are DNFs.
Yep, those really are crashes. I do think there's do you think there are any more crashes?
Not from my memory.
I'm trying to think of anything that I honestly cannot. Oh, like some drivers like touched a bit, like had some contact, but not really crash. I mean, he had
No,
two crashes.
I don't think it was something. He can correct us if need be.
Yeah, obviously if he feels like there were three crashes, he can tell us which three were those. But he doesn't get a point here. Obviously, no one crashed all weekend. I think that's pretty wrong. And for me, I finally get a point for extra goal prediction. I think it was the first time ever. I think I never got. Oh, actually, it was the first time, but it was really. We had to like correct the wording for that. Yeah, the point for this one just pretty good for me because I don't lose even 4 points towards you. You're already on the lead by like so many points. We got both of us got 4 points this weekend. The scoring. Qatar GP. And I got 2, and we got 4 each, which means that's correct. Okay. Which means you're at 31 points, 5 points ahead of me, and in third place is a banana, and 14 points, 12 points behind me, which is even though he got a lot of points from Japanese Grand Prix, I don't think he can make a 12-point gap in 5 races, honestly.
Yeah.
Unless I predict something really, really bad. I mean, my predictions were pretty decent. Even though I got only 3 Japanese Grand Prix, but I lost like a good amount of points there. Or like drivers being like out of position. Like if we will have some drivers switched, like in the race, for example, like Hamilton P3. If I would switch Hamilton and Leclerc, it would get the correct order or whatever. Just a lot of like points missed there. Yeah. Okay. Also, last weekend, I don't know if you saw the VOD of the stream, but we almost didn't give you the point for Williams, and
that would have been a crime.
Yeah, we talked about it for like 10 minutes, and in the end, like we decided that we would feel too bad for not giving it the point here because double DNF or whatever, they were just really very slow. Yep. Okay. Good stream, I'd say, even a pretty long one, over an hour.
Me.
Yep. We'll see each other probably for predictions next week, unless you count.
Depends on the day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Saturday, obviously, we'll decide whenever we want to stream. Okay. I should be able to stream on Twitch now from NCC Island. So, if you wanna join me and Banana, you could.
Okay. Again, just depends on times and so on.
Obviously, we're after the stream ends, I'm obviously switching the OBS to Twitch.
Okay. Are you doing that? Oh yeah. No, I need to go eat.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. Yeah. Have a good food, I would say. And yeah, thank you for coming to the stream. And see you next time. This was a stream after we know.
See you next time. Bye.
Yeah, bye as well for me. This should work.